Welcome to the Arcade Radio Network. I'm DJ Demon and it's time for another behind-the-scenes view. We're talking technology here. If you want to listen to the music, we got the podcast with a number of nice episodes and we got the station itself. Otherwise, stay a while and get more geeky. Alright. What we're going to talk about today is being out of phase with things. I got a cool story, but first we need to talk about Amiga Modules, okay? I told you before that the Amiga Modules have like 2 channels connected to the left speaker and 2 channels connected to the right speaker. That's pretty normal for the Amiga. That also means that the stereo image, so to speak, is very broad and sometimes erratic. And I'm going to show this. Loaded into Presonus Studio One that you can see on the screen here, I have a module that is called Klisje pa Klisje. It's by Walkman and it's one of my favorite modules. It goes between a number of genres with hard rock, symphonies, classic music and all the kinds of piano tunes in one single song. It's super cool, really. Like it. But it has a story behind it. But first, we're gonna have to listen a little bit on it. And what you should do is, please put this in full screen mode. Then look into this picture you're seeing with me in the bottom right corner. Look at 3 o'clock in the picture, which is a little bit above my head, where you see I move the mouse pointer. That is known as a goniometer or a phase alignment meter or something like that. It actually shows how the stereo picture is moving. In monaural sound, you will have it stuck like a line in the middle going between 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And it will fluff out a little bit when it's stereo. You're supposed to use this to check that you don't go out of phase too much because it can sound weird. And a really broad stereo picture will be more fluffy. But let's listen a little bit on Klisje pa Klisje, and then, as I said, I will tell you a little bit of a story about it. Oh yeah, that's the hard rock part of it. But you can see there that it's super fluffy and it seems to be heavily leaning towards the right. I will explain that in a while. If we kind of skip ahead here. Now you see it's jumping to the right and to the left, totally wild. The reason is obviously that you have 4 channels and whatever instrument is playing tilts the whole stereo picture in that direction. So it spins, it totally spins around here. You can see it sometimes, it seems to be as tilted. And sometimes it spins around a bit. Cool, right? Alright, the story then. In 1993, I was working as what we call here in Sweden, praktikant. I guess that's some kind of temp worker on Swedish radio. That's our national broadcaster here. Program 3 as an audio. I was learning audio engineering, that is. And I actually brought this particular song on a cassette tape to the audio engineer and said, you gotta listen to this, it's super good, it's made on an Amiga, really nice. So he took the cassette, patched it into the mixing console, a real broadcasting studio. It wasn't broadcasting at the time, obviously. And then he played, and this goniometer, it was spinning just as wildly as this one does now. So this is what he pretty much saw. And depending on where you go, as I showed you previously, it can be super wild. And he couldn't understand why. Now I was too inexperienced to explain to him why the problem was. I couldn't really see it. But it's pretty obvious now. whatever channels that are engaged, as I said, spins it around pretty much. He kind of made the conclusion that, hey, you have something wrong with your stereo equipment at home. Your hi-fi is broken. He said you need to disconnect the cables, the line cables, and unsolder them and turn them over. So the signal would go to the ground and the ground would go to the signal. This is because he thought it was 180 degrees out of phase. Obviously it isn't, but he was totally puzzled. He couldn't find out a better explanation. I pretty much understood this can't be it, but it's a very cool thing because most people that was kind of in the business of audio engineering and stuff, they had no idea that many home computers were like this. I've seen the Amstrad CPC, and it has 3 channels that kind of, one goes to the left, one goes to the right, and one goes in the middle. So you can probably guess that they are kind of messy too, those tunes. So there you are, a bit of a story from reality. And this is a tune you can hear on the station as well, of course. Thanks for listening and viewing.